Are you a short king? I mean, you didn't have to answer that question, but it's just good to know. I'm just doing like a poll, doing a survey over here, but I just want to know, man. Why do you gotta be so hostile? I'm just asking if you're short king. I was asking that because I'm making a video on Dragon's Dogma where you can actually climb up giant colossal creatures and try to fight them on their level. Oh, now you're telling me you're short king. Well, short kings rise. Dragon's Dogma has to be one of my favorite games of all time, and hopefully I can share my passion with you a little bit today, so I appreciate you clicking on the video. Dragon's Dogma was released back in 2012 on May 22nd in North America, and then released the second edition of the game called Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen in 2013. Dragon's Dogma is made by the same team that worked on Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, and they drew inspiration from games such as Fable, Oblivion, and even this one game called Dungeons and Dragons. I think you might have heard of it once or twice. Dragon's Dogma takes place in the world of Grancis, where you can find loads of magic, dragons, weapons, and crazy loot. That's kind of why I play. Gameplay consists of making your own character, called the Arisen, utilizing AI known as pawns to do your bidding. And that could look like helping you out in quests, helping you destroy monsters, or even picking up some awesome loot. Pawns are a really cool ally system where you can tap into your friends or random people to utilize their pawns that they created. And this can range from whatever creativity space that you have. So you can make Jimmy Neutron, Hatsune Miku, you can do whatever you want. And the class system is really cool. I like how they did it. Instead of classes, they're called vocations. And you got your basic classes like Fighter, that's your sword and shield basic tank. Mage, that's a class focused on casting spells.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love casting spells.
And you got Strider, fast-paced class that utilizes bows and daggers. And 6 more crazy classes that are between hybrid or enhanced classes. And so again, our pawns can tap into the enhanced classes, but they can't tap into the hybrid classes. Hybrid classes are only for the Arisen. One of the unique systems that Dragon's Dogma has is that you can encounter any of these pawns throughout your travels. You could be in the city and you can run across one. You could literally be on the road to another place and you will see pawns literally walking aimlessly. It's really cool how they have this sort of like MMO feel without having the MMO, if that makes sense. Now, a really cool little tidbit that isn't applicable for the newer games, but back on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, they actually had a crossover between the anime Berserk. I'm sure you guys have heard of Berserk, but you could actually get the armor of Guts and Griffith. I think that's pretty cool that they're able to, like, you know, dip into their connections there and really make a cool armor set for the Arisen and for the pawns. I think that's so cool. Now, I can talk to you for a while about the plot and why I love the plot, but just know that this is one of the most replayable games of all time. Without giving away any spoilers, I definitely recommend you playing it for yourself. In Dragon's Dogma, we take up a slow burning quest of vengeance. You start with the simple quests leading up to the complex quests where you're eventually hunting like a griffin, a cockatrice, hopefully I said that correct, and that leads our character to eventually fighting the dragon. And again, without going into spoilers, please play the game for yourself. I love what they did with the end game here. I love the story towards the end and the twist that they have. Please, please, please play it. Now, I absolutely love the combat, and so my favorite part is just climbing up like a big creature and just beating the living hell out of it. Just absolutely going to town on it. And having it try to like fly away and you're just hanging on to it for dear life, stabbing it. Like there's just something about that euphoric feeling that you get from playing this game. There's no other game like that where you're able to grab onto these big giant behemoth creatures and really feel like you're able to go toe to toe with them. And I remember watching the video of sort of like the behind the scenes and the thought process, and one of the creators made the comment of like, well, most of these games that you play, they make these really big creatures and you literally just fight and suck their toes. Well, he didn't say suck. He said fight. He's fighting like the big monster creature. Like I'm not saying anything here. I'm not trying to be weird, but you know, feet, right? Right? Something we can all agree on. My final thoughts on if you should play Dragon's Dogma in 2023. Yeah, you should definitely play this game. And it's definitely held up for this, decade and some change. I definitely think that it's worth taking time playing it. I know that sometimes it goes on sales here and there, but, you know, it's on the Switch, it's on the Xbox One, it's on the PS4. You can find it on all different platforms. Now, if you want the Berserk manga collab, that's on the PS3, that's on the Xbox 360. Unfortunately, the newer systems or consoles don't have that collab, but now you know. I definitely think you should play this. I think it's a unique take on an RPG. I love the fact you're able to climb these big Goliath creatures. I love the class system, how you're able to tweak and tune your class. I don't think they overcomplicate things. Again, my problems with the game have been due to, you know, the travel system. When you first travel and run around on the world of Grancis, I feel like you're going to have a drag with it. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. After your first playthrough, you'll then be able to set down these like fairy stones and port stones. That way you're able to finally fast travel, and that will cut down your play time traveling from one point to another exponentially. But I do definitely think that it's worth running around on your first playthrough because you really want to explore and see the world of Grancis for yourself. I mean, these creators took their time to literally fly to Europe to model Grancis after Europe. Like, how cool is that? They took their first-hand experience from there. So definitely recommend running around on that first playthrough and really seeing things for yourself. I would definitely recommend that. And again, this might not be for everyone, but if you are looking for like a cheaper game to play on just sort of the side, this is a game where you can play for like an hour or two, stop what you're doing, and then continue on with your life. Or you do the flip side, you just play and beat the entire game in one day. It's possible. There's a speedrun mode. There's a reason for that. Have fun with it, right? And if you end up playing the game, let me know. I'm curious to see your thoughts on it, you know? Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Dragon's Dogma. Are you excited for Dragon's Dogma 2? I am. I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped about Dragon's Dogma 2, if I'm being real. You know? It's one of my favorite games of all time. Not enough people know about this game, so hopefully I was able to share a little something with you today. And if I didn't, let me know. If you have a little something that you're trying to share with me, let me know. Alright? Trying to build a little bit of a community over here. So, again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing day. And hopefully you smiled at least once or twice.